It is day 50 of our chats. And I want you to imagine that you're sitting at your board of directors meeting. You have it either once a month or once a quarter. And as executives, you're updating the board of directors, and you notice that a colleague of yours takes credit for an idea that you had shared with him a couple weeks earlier. What do? It's easy to say, oh, I just tell him right then. But we know better than that, don't we? You sit and think of the other times that maybe this exact same colleague has taken credit for ideas or programs and processes that they didn't come up with. Now, it's easy to say you do the right thing, and in most areas of life, we think the right thing's easy to understand. And for the most part, it can be. Don't steal. Don't lie. This is a delicate situation, though. If another executive is taking credit for ideas, there is going to be an additional outcome or effect from that. So you have a couple options. Now, you can be the gladiator executive. I'm sure you've seen the movie with Russell Crowe, and he goes out and he fights for the people, and he's bold and he's brazen and he's out front. And you could correct this colleague in front of the board of directors. But who does that reflect poorly on? Sure, you might have done the right thing, but ultimately you've shown a disconnect between an executive team to the board of directors that you all report to. You could take the Sherlock approach. If you've seen Robert Downey Jr.'s rendition of Sherlock Holmes in the movie, you'll notice before he actually does something, he takes that moment and he plays it out in his head. Literally, blow by blow, move by move, he sees exactly what the outcome's going to be. So if you do that prior to actually speaking, you probably notice if you have that conversation in that room at that time, it doesn't go well. So one of the recommendations I would have would be after the meeting is over, take the opportunity to go ask a question and be curious. You know, I noticed that when you spoke on this, you had said that you had come up with this idea. Now, the first time I had heard that idea was from Bob 2 weeks ago, which is when I communicated it to you. So I'm curious, when did you share that with Bob prior to a couple weeks ago? Now, clearly, that colleague could have unintentionally taken credit, and in some way we'll find a way to correct that down the road. Or they might absolutely have been the one that gave Bob that idea and just simply didn't correct you when you brought it up in email format going into this meeting. Ultimately, how we go about any sort of challenge or conflict speaks to not just who they are and they're doing, but more so to how we respond, react, and execute. So, do you take the gladiator approach in life and boldly correct whomever you believe is wrong? Or do you take the Sherlock approach and think it through, blow by blow and step by step, to be sure you're taking the best, most effective approach you can? Guys, you have a lot of responsibility. And with that, you have to be clear and calculated to make sure you get the best result you can. I hope this causes you to challenge yourself, look at how you go about addressing a conflict, even in your parenting life, or maybe you're not an executive. This same challenge comes up for everybody in just about everyday life. It's okay to be a gladiator at times, but ultimately, there might be more value in being a bit of a Sherlock. Have a great day.